Bubba Wallace silences all the haters and beats a 100 race winless streak. First things first, Bubba Wallace snaps 100 race winless streak. I mean, that's impressive. And he silenced all the haters around his win and everything. He does a freaking burnout, standing burnout, burns it down all the way. Crew members involved. Such a great win for Bubba Wallace. Alright, now to actually talk about the race. The racing wasn't good at all. I didn't think the racing was good. But the events that happened, like the rain delay, the big crashes, the 2-lap shootout, that was epic. That was fun. But most importantly, there were some tire failures, especially with the Penske cars, both when they were either leading or about to take the lead. Austin Cindric with a tire failure while he's leading. Joey Logano with a tire failure as he's about to take the lead. Honestly, I don't know what this is. I think they might be pushing the tire pressures a little bit too much. But I think they're just experimenting for now, because we all know that they come to life in the fall whenever the playoffs happen. So that's an issue, but at least they learn from that issue. And next year they might be better with the tires. Also, fuel at the end of the race. The fuel was... I mean, like, people didn't even know if they could make it. Like Byron, I'm not sure, but I think he ran out of fuel. I'm not quite sure. But I did think he ran out of fuel at the very, very end. But he did coast across the line. So, but there was a lot of questioning whether they would make it on fuel or not. And also, I know there was a lot of people questioning why the grandstands were half packed. I mean, NASCAR's not as popular as it was back in the 90s, the 80s, but I mean, Indianapolis grandstands can fit 250,000 spectators. That's a lot. They filled 70,000 seats, and if we were to put 70,000 people we couldn't even put 70,000 people at Phoenix or Homestead, but if you were to, they wouldn't fit. Half of them would just be sitting on the grass next to the grandstands. So that is a lot of people for a NASCAR race. That would have been a sold-out crowd at any other racetrack. But at Indianapolis, that's not as good. But there was a lot of people there, just to clarify that. Another thing I want to talk about, which hasn't happened in quite a while, Eric Jones had a brake failure which cut down the tire. Last time I can think about what that happened was 2 years ago at Phoenix with Christopher Bell, and that hasn't really happened a lot, but this did happen. I mean, Indianapolis, you have to brake a lot in those corners because the straightaways are very long, and so you're going full speed down the straight, and then you have to brake really hard going into those tight corners. And I get that there might be a brake failure from time to time, but I mean, that was a big one. Oh, by the way, there was a couple at Pocono, but that's a different story. It's Pocono. You have to build a whole different kind of brake set for that. When I took a tour of Penske, they told us about how they had to design whole new brake set just for Pocono. So that's a different story, not what I'm talking about. But we haven't seen a lot of brake failures like that in quite a while. Another incident today was Michael McDowell versus Ross Chastain. I mean, Ross Chastain, he's blocking and stuff, and he's being very aggressive, but Michael McDowell had no reason to hook him into the wall like that. I mean, it might have been an accident, but if you look into the in-car cameras, it's bad. It looks bad. I don't know if that's going to be suspension or not, but honestly, if it was on purpose, I think Michael McDowell should be suspended for the next race. Now let's talk about the in-season challenge. Ty Gibbs comes out with the win. I think all of us thought that he would win if it were incident-free. There was a lot of incidents, and unfortunately Ty Dillon got caught in that late restart with a bunch of cars stacking up, and that was really unfortunate for him because he had a good run until now. It looked like all of the stars had aligned. I mean, he's really good at that track. He has one Xfinity Series win, and he's not very bad at that track, but it just wasn't in the cards for him today. So, unfortunate, but it is what it is, I guess. Here's the top 10 results. So first of all, you have Bubba Wallace. Obviously breaks the 100 race winless streak. Really good job by him. Then you have Kyle Larson. Now, Kyle Larson did really well today. You didn't really see him a lot up front, but he, with the mix-ups and the strategy and the 2-lap shootout, I mean, he did make his way up to the front. And then you have Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin did pretty well, but he went from last to third, all the way where he is here, in a backup car. So that's really impressive. And then you have Ryan Preece. Ryan Preece and Brad Keselowski right next to each other, 1-2. And they did pretty well for RFK cars. They're making some good progress. And then you have Todd Gilliland. I mean, Todd Gilliland, he did really well for the car that he's driving and the driver that he is. You haven't really seen a lot of Todd Gilliland this year. He's not the best driver. Honestly, Michael McDowell behind the wheel of that same car was really good, but Todd Gilliland, I think this shows how much he's growing. And then you have Ryan Blaney. Ryan Blaney did really well today, was not caught up in any of the Penske incidents, so I think they had a pretty good car setup, or he was just being cautious with the tires. Who knows? But then you have Christopher Bell. He did really well today. We didn't really speak a lot of him, so he didn't really pop up very much, but he was there at the end. He's one of those cars. And then you have Alex Bowman. Alex Bowman hasn't shown a lot of strength. He's not a very good driver. People were questioning if he would even lose his ride last year, but he stayed with it and he got us a top 10. Then you have Carson Hocevar. Now that's a different story. Carson Hocevar, 1, very aggressive and not a very good driver. 2, not the best car either with Aspire Motorsports, but he made progress and he got up into the top 10. And I think some of the things with Carson Hocevar getting higher up in the ranks lately has to do with Michael McDowell. I mean, Michael McDowell's joined to the team, and now I think he's trying to help get that team better, because that's exactly what he did with Front Row Motorsports. He joined the team, and then all of a sudden they start being a top tier 4 team and a competitor. But since he left, they haven't done so well, so I don't know. I think Michael McDowell is now trying to help Spire get up there, and I think it's affecting with Carson Hocevar being up here in the top 10. And here's your playoff bubble. Thank you for watching. If you enjoy this content, make sure to check out my channel, like and subscribe, and leave a comment down below if you agree or disagree, and tell me what you think about the Brickyard 400. Thank you. Bye.